Hey everybody, and welcome back to Hello Meet Wisdom. You guys, I have already prayed and I really just want to jump into this word. I am going to give you a synopsis of where I left off at, and then I'm going to get into the second part because I feel like I may have a little bit more to get into today. Okay, so I started out in the introduction of jubilees, and I took you into the book of Exodus, and we were in the 19th chapter where I was showing you the correlation of when the children of Israel actually feared the Lord, when they heard his voice, when they saw him on the mount, and when they saw him on Mount Sinai, they were they had fear and they were trembling, right? They had said to Moses, hey, we'd rather deal with you because, hey, if God talked to us, we're going to die. They had found that his presence was too much for them, right? And then I fast forward you to chapter 32 in Deuteronomy. I'm sorry, not Deuteronomy, y'all got, sorry, Exodus, where Moses had went on up the mountain again, and he was gone for 40 days and 40 nights. This 40 days and 40 nights that Moses was gone, the children of Israel got impatient and decided to implore Aaron to melt all of their gold and to make it into a golden calf so that they could worship this golden calf, whereby when they came back down, they was having wild parties, they were having orgies, and they was worshiping this golden calf. And I gave you the scriptures in the last message of the conversation that the Lord was having with Moses. The Lord was having this conversation with Moses, letting us know that the children of Israel was not going to make it into the promised land because he knew their hearts. He knew that they was a stiff-necked generation. He knew that they were a generation that essentially wouldn't be able to get it right because of one of the reasons is they had adopted the traditions of their slavery. They had adopted the traditions of the Israelites. This is how they knew to melt their gold and to turn it into a golden calf, because in the Egyptian history they were worshiping false gods, right? And so now it's I'm going to take you into jubilees. I'm going to take you into creation. But before that, the reason Moses was asking the Lord, like, don't let this befall the children of Israel, because you delivered them out of Egypt and these are supposed to be your people. But God was saying to Moses again that he knew their thoughts. He knew that they were, that they wasn't going to do right. They wasn't going to have the faith essentially to move into the promised land. And that's what it really was about. It was about their faith, because when you go into it a little bit deeper, when this is when they went to go and spy out the land of Canaan, and they come to find out that it was giants in the land, and they got fearful, and they said, the land is good and it is plentiful, but there are giants in the land, and I fear we are not going to be able to go and overtake them. And Caleb was the only one out of the 12 that came back, and he was like, no, we can take this land, we can take them, we can do this. And so essentially the Lord sent the children of Israel wandering back into the wilderness for, as y'all know, it was supposed to be an 11-day journey that turned into 40 years. But it was purposely done this way because the Lord knew that the children of Israel, these children, the ones that came out of Egypt, was not going to be able to step into the promised land because they didn't have the faith to move forward. Not only that, they had adopted the Egyptians' culture in worshiping false gods. So basically the Lord kills off everybody from age 20 and up. You know what I'm saying? They not able to enter the promised land. And then even essentially Moses wasn't even able to eventually enter the promised land. The Lord took Moses out, and then he raised Joshua up in his place. And then Joshua is the one who led the children into Israel. But it had to be a new generation. It had to be a new generation, because the old generation, they were set in their ways. They had no faith. They had no faith in what God can do, even though they saw that the Lord had delivered them out of all kinds of, parting the Red Sea and, defeating armies on behalf of them and everything. They saw his miracles, signs, and wonder. And that is one of the reasons why they could not enter, because they saw the hand. Even he came down. And I showed you in chapter 19, God came down on the mountain, and the children of Israel heard him. They even saw his presence in the fire. And then they have made up in their minds that they didn't want to deal with God because he was so fearful, that they rather deal with Moses. But see, but when you're dealing with a person rather than a God, you get into this place where you feel like you can overstep that person. And they tried Moses a lot of times in the wilderness. They took Moses through a whole lot, and that's why Moses got frustrated and he struck that rock. Okay, so now that I done gave y'all kind of a synopsis of what's going on, I'm leading you back. I'm here, and I'm leading you back. I'm in chapter 2. I want to take you into creation, because I feel like we all have had a different version of what creation was in our King James Bible. So I'm going to read in chapter 2, and I'm gonna give you a synopsis. This is now an angel. He's talking to Moses, because on Mount Sinai, God is not alone with Moses. He has the angel of the presence. The angel of the presence is there with God and with Moses being a witness. And so I'm going to start. Y'all know. Here we go again. Give me a minute, y'all. Give me a minute. Okay. And I'm going to start at verse 1 in chapter 2 in Jubilees, okay? And it says, "And the messenger of the presence," messenger is angel, even though I hate when they use that word messenger, because we know that it's angel, but I that's just my preference, you guys. So, but I'm going to say what the Bible, I'm going to say what the word says, All right, it says, "And a messenger of the presence spoke with Moses according to the word of the Lord, saying, Write the complete history of creation, how in 6 days the Lord God finished all his works and all that he created, and he kept the Sabbath on the 7th day and hallowed it." Hallowed means holy. "Hallowed it for all ages, and appointed it as a sign for all his works. For in the first day he created the heavens, which are above, and the earth, and the waters, and all the spirits which serve before him." He said, all the spirits which serve before him. He's talking about the angels. He says, and now I'm about to say angels. He says, "The angel of the presence." He says, and the angel of sanctification, and the angels of the spirit of fire, and the angels of the spirit of winds, and the angels of the spirit of clouds, and the darkness, and of the snow, and of the hail, and of the hoarfrost, and the messengers, the angels of the voices, and the thundering, and the lightning, and angels of the spirits, and of the cold, and of the heat, and of winter, and of spring, and of autumn, and of summer, and of all the spirits of his creatures which are in the heavens and on the earth. He created the abyss, and the darkness, evening and night, and the light, dawn, and the day, which he has prepared in knowledge of his heart. And we immediately saw his works, and praised him, and lauded before him on account of all his works. For he created 7 great wonders on the first day." I'm moving to verse 4 now. It says, "And on the second day, he created the expanse in the midst of the waters, and the waters were divided on that day. Half of them went up above, and half of them went down below the expanse that was in the midst over the face of the whole earth." And then it says, "And this was only," "and this was only work, this is the only work God created on the second day. It says, and on the third day, he commanded the waters to pass from off the face of the whole earth into one place, and the dry land appeared, and the waters and the waters did so as he commanded them, and they retired from off the face of the earth into one place outside of this expanse, and the dry land appeared. It says, and on that day he created for them all the seas according to their separate gathering places, and all the rivers and the gatherings of the waters in the mountains, and on all the earth, and all the lakes, and all the dew of the earth, and the seed which is sown, and all the sprouting things, and the fruit-bearing trees, and the trees of wood, and the garden of Eden, in Eden, and all plants after their kind. These four great works God created on the third day. These four great works God created on the third day, and on the fourth day he created the sun and the moon and the stars, and set them on the expanse of the heavens to give light on all the earth, and to rule over day and over night. And he divided the light from the darkness. And I'm just going to stop right there. So already, this is a little different from what we got in our King James Version, because it never told us that God, about the angels. Like, we knew that they kind of, it just made it seem like they were already with him while he was creating it. No, God was the only thing that existed first, and then he created these angels, and he appointed the angels positions over everything. So like I said, it was the angel of the presence, angel of the sun, angel over the stars, angel over the moons, angel over everything on the earth. He had the angels that watched over the animals, angels that watched over the humans, and I'm going to get to that too, because that's even deep, right? So far, this is a little bit different from what we've been explained, what he created, right? And let me go further. I'm in verse 9 now. And it says, and God appointed the sun to be a great sign on the earth for days, and for the Sabbaths, and for months, and for feasts, and for years, and for the Sabbath of years, and for jubilees, and for all seasons of the years. And it divided the light from the darkness, and for prosperity, and all things may prosper which shoot and grow on earth. It says, these three kinds he made on the fourth day. And on the fifth day, he created great sea monsters. Never heard that in King James, did you? But guess what's starting to surface now in the earth that everybody is all seeing on TikTok? That's all in the waters. Sea monsters. It says this is what he created. Let's go back to that. He created great sea monsters in the depths of the waters, for these were the first things of flesh that were created by his hands. The fish and everything that moves in the waters, and everything that flies, the birds and all their kinds. And then it says, and the sun rose above them to prosper them, and above everything that was on the earth, everything that shoots out of the earth, and all the fruit-bearing trees, and all cattle, and everything that moves on the earth. And after all this, he created man, a man and a woman. He created them, and gave them dominion over all that is on the earth, and in the seas, and over everything that flies, and over beasts, and over cattle, and over everything that moves on the earth, and over the whole earth. And over all this he gave them dominion. And these four kinds he created on the sixth day. And there were altogether 22 kinds. And he finished all his works on the sixth day. All this is in the heavens, and on the earth, and in the seas, and in the abysses, and in the light, and in the darkness, and in everything. And he gave us a great sign, the Sabbath day, that we should work 6 days, but keep Sabbath on the seventh day from all work. So as you can see, this is deep. This went a little bit deeper than the King James Version. I've never had the King James Version that told me that sea monsters was created. It just says that it created everything. It didn't tell us that the angel, how that he created all the angels and that he appointed all of them over everything either, right? So in this next verse, I'm going to be reading you. It's going to go, I'm going to read a little bit further, and it's going to do a little bit more talking. And then in the next segment or chapter that I'm going to go into is going to be going into the fall of man. And this is, you know, where Satan came into the garden and was supposed to have, you know, seduce Eve into eating the fruit, right? All right, so let's finish. I'm in verse 18 now, and for those of y'all who want to know what I'm reading, I'm going to show y'all the book I got. This is the book that I have. This is the complete Ethiopian Bible. Y'all see how big this thing is? And then like I said, I've been doing like extensive marking in this book as I read, because it don't separate the stuff. It just tell you what chapters, like what book you in and what chapters you're in, and like everything kind of runs together. So as I've been doing my research, I have to use my my highlighters in order for me to like separate everything as I'm going into it. But let's finish this. So let's go. All right, so I'm at verse 18. And it says, and all the angels of the presence and all the angels of sanctification, these two great classes, he has hidden us to keep the Sabbath with him in the heavens and on earth. So the Sabbath was originally established in the heavens even before we was even before he even gave us, you know, the directive to do it on earth. And he said to us, so now this is the angel, because the angel is talking to Moses. Moses, the angel of presence is having a conversation with Moses. And that's why he's saying, and he said to us. He says, and he said to us, behold, I will separate a people for myself from among all peoples, and these will keep the Sabbath day. And I will sanctify them to myself as a people and will bless them. As I have sanctified the Sabbath day and sanctified it to myself, even so I will bless them, and they will be my people, and I will be their God. And I have chosen the seed of Jacob from among all that I have seen, and have written him down as my firstborn son, and have sanctified him to myself forever and ever. And I will teach them the Sabbath day, that they may keep the Sabbath thereon from all work. And thus he created therein a sign in accordance with which they should keep the Sabbath with us on the seventh day, to eat and to drink, and to bless him who has created all things, as he has blessed and sanctified to himself a peculiar people above all peoples. I'm going to read that again so y'all can, because I know I stuttered over that a little bit. So I'm going to start here on verse 21. And thus he created therein a sign in accordance with which they should keep the Sabbath with us on the seventh day, to eat and to drink, and to bless him who has created all things, as he has blessed and sanctified to himself a peculiar people above all peoples, and that they should keep the Sabbath together with us. And he caused his commands to ascend as a sweet savor, acceptable before him all the days. There were 22 heads of mankind from Adam to Jacob, and 22 kinds of work were made until the seventh day. This is blessed and holy, and the former is also blessed and holy. And this one serves with one for sanctification and blessings. And to these, Jacob and his seed, it was granted that they should always be blessed and the holy ones of the first testimony and law, even as he had sanctified and blessed the Sabbath day on the seventh day. He created the heavens and the earth and everything that he created in 6 days, and God made the seventh day holy for all his works. Therefore he commanded on its behalf, that whoever does any work thereon will die, and that he who defiles it will surely die. For that reason commands the son of Israel to observe this day, that they may keep it holy, and do not do any work thereon, and do not defile it, as it is holier than all other days. And whoever profanes it shall surely die. And whoever does any work thereon will surely die forever. That the sons of Israel may observe this day throughout their generations, and not be rooted out from the land, for it is a holy day and a blessed day. And everyone who observes it and keeps the Sabbath thereon from all his work will be holy and blessed. Throughout all days, like us, declare and say to the sons of Israel the law of this day, both that they should keep the Sabbath thereon. He was real serious about this Sabbath, and I'm gonna tell y'all exactly why. It says thereon, and they should not forsake it in error of their hearts, and it is not lawful for them to do any work thereon, which unseemly, to do their own pleasure thereon. And they should not prepare anything thereon to be eaten or drunk. He says, and to draw water or bring in or take out thereof through their gates any burdens which they had not prepared for themselves on the sixth day in their dwelling. And they will not bring in nor take out from the house to house on that day, for that day is more holy and blessed than any jubilee day of jubilees. On this we kept the Sabbath in the heavens before it was made known to any flesh to keep the Sabbath thereon on earth. And the Creator of all things blessed it, but he did not sanctify all peoples and nations to keep the Sabbath thereon, but Israel alone. Them alone he permitted to eat, drink, and keep the Sabbath thereon earth. And the Creator of all things blessed this day, which he created for a blessing and sanctification and glory above all days. This law and testimony was given to the sons of Israel as a law forever to the generations. Now, let me tell y'all how serious God was about this Sabbath, y'all, if you don't understand. He was saying that nobody could do no work. They couldn't draw no water. They couldn't prepare no food. They couldn't go visit from house to house. They couldn't do anything on the Sabbath except worship the Lord. That the Sabbath day was a day where you were supposed to go into the temple, and you were supposed to light your incense and your candles, and you were supposed to go in and pray and worship the Lord. That is all that you could do on the Sabbath. You could not do anything or you would die. Now, let me tell you exactly why this is pivotal for us. Because us, who are the descendants of the children of Israel, all of us Black American people and Indians that's scattered all out, that they treat bad in the nations, because they know who we is. And so, you know, Satan and the Luciferian agendas decide that they want to change our calendars and switch things around, so that what we end up doing, y'all, a lot of us end up working on the Sabbath day, because we have lost the following of the traditions of following the Sabbath. And then a lot of people, we just didn't even know, like, it was lost. That's what I'm trying to say. It was lost down generations. You know what I'm saying? One generation didn't tell the next generation about it, and we just never learned when the Sabbath day was. A lot of y'all was sitting up here thinking that the Sabbath day was a Saturday, but truthfully, if you do your research, you will find out that they move by jubilees in the Bible. The Israelites, the Hebrews, they did everything by jubilees, and certain jubilees was pivotal. So they knew that whenever the new moon would come in, and the only reason why I learned it by following what's his name? Omar Tebow. If y'all follow Pastor Omar Tebow, he will break down what the Sabbath day is, who the Hebrews is and all of that stuff. So if y'all, want to do any research into that stuff, you can research it yourself, or you can follow Pastor Omar Tebow, who has a YouTube ministry called The School of the Hebrews. He breaks stuff down, I'm gonna tell y'all. So I've been following him, and also too, I've been reading the book of Jubilees myself because I wanted to understand, how serious this was. And this was a real serious offense. Do y'all know how many times that all of us have broken the Sabbath? We should all be dead. It says that you will die if you violate or if you do not follow the Sabbath. So thank God for Jesus, because Jesus was the one that the Lord sent here to abolish certain laws. Now, the 10 Commandments stand, y'all. I don't want nobody even to open their mouth to say that, oh, God came and he abolished the 10 Commandments. Never that. Never, 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 never. The 10 Commandments stand, and they are forever going to be written as a law for us to follow. Jesus came and he abolished certain laws like sacrificing animals and us following the Sabbath, because technically all of us should be dead, because we have all broke the Sabbath. We have all violated the Sabbath. We have all, in some way done something to offend the Sabbath where we should be out. You know what I'm saying? So y'all, this is like super serious, because like this is stuff that we didn't know that we need to know. You see what I'm saying? But hallelujah, praise God. Thank him for his redemption. Thank him for his salvation. Thank him for his love. Thank him for his mercy. And thank him for loving this world so much that he would send his only begotten son to die for us. John 3:16. Thank him for John 3:16. Amen. So y'all, this Jubilees teaching was pretty deep, y'all, and we're gonna delve deep into it. And wait till I get to the book of Enoch, because y'all gotta understand why we're hated so much. When I tell y'all, when I give y'all the truth of why we're hated so much and why certain things is done against us, then you will understand. And this is what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? I am here to, give y'all the truth, as the Lord lead me, as he reveals things to me, because what is on the heart of the Father is salvation, okay? It's salvation for his children. And, listen, everybody ain't gonna be saved. That's just the bottom line. You got a whole bunch of people out here with reprobate minds, and they don't want to change. They don't want to believe the word of God, and they don't even want to do their own research into it. So they already chose Satan as, by default. They already chose him by default. So, y'all, the next teaching that I'm going to get into is I'm going to go into chapter 3, and we're going to get into the fall and the when Satan came and tempted Eve with the eating of the apple and all of that stuff, how she just like totally messed it up for all of us. But it's even deeper than that, y'all. So this is the end of this segment, you guys. Let me know how y'all liking it. Y'all can leave comments if you want to. You don't have to like it. You don't have to share it, because guess what? I really don't care. I'm just doing what the Lord tell me to do. I'm on assignment, and God's heart at the center of it is to save souls. Is to, reach the hearts of his children. And we know that everybody is not God's children, right? So I ain't talking to them. I'm not talking to the ones who don't believe. I'm not talking to the ones who don't want to, listen to this word. I'm fine with that. I'm whoever I'm called to. That's just what it is. It is what it is, y'all. So I love you guys with the love of Christ, and I will be back as soon as the Lord continue to download more stuff in me, and he has downloaded a lot in me. And so yeah, I'll be back when the Lord tells me to release another message. I love you guys. Bye.